Nobody but about me. Why you got to give me a fight? Can't you just let it be?
You're listening to The Mark Cox Show. Follow the show on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Mark Cox Show.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
All right, welcome back. What are you playing?
Kenny Loggins.
Oh, no.
I'm with you on that one.
You're going to have to work with me on the playlist here, Liz.
All right, we'll skip that one.
I heard Mike Ferguson filling in for Jamie this morning. My alarm goes off at 6:30. I wake up. Ferguson's playing some sort of rock song back into the Allman Show, and he goes, if you hear that, you're either got Mike Ferguson filling in for Allman or you're listening to the Mark Cox Show. Because he knew that. That's sort of my signature there.
So Kenny Loggins.
No, I think I'll skip Kenny Loggins.
Zone?
Thank you.
Footloose? Isn't Kenny Loggins Footloose?
Yeah.
Come on,
that's
Footloose.
all right.
That's a classic.
I'm just checking. Just checking.
You got to like Footloose stuff.
No, I liked the movie. Don't get me wrong.
Just the artist.
Yeah. I have a friend who used to be infatuated with Kevin Bacon. My friend Sue Thomas is infatuated with Kevin Bacon.
I will delete those from the playlist. All
right, let me get to a couple of calls. I've still got Chris here. We are going to talk to Chet Pleban coming up after the top of the hour about this Ferguson case. So, Don, thanks for calling the program.
Hi, how you doing, Mark?
I'm good. You're on the air.
My question was, how come Lesley McSpadden and her Michael Brown's stepdad wasn't charged or can't be charged financially for yelling, "Burn this," I won't use the word she used, and then everybody scattered and started burning? To me, they're directly responsible, and it's on tape. They should pay for the damages.
Yeah. I you know what? And I don't have any inside knowledge on this, but my guess is that it wasn't, at some point, it wasn't deemed politically correct for the city of Ferguson to charge the mother of a murder victim with inciting a riot. Although, in most other circumstances, I think that would have been perfectly understandable. I agree.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I agree with
that.
you, but I think that's why it didn't happen. I think a number of cases against protesters and otherwise were dropped. Now, they did have an issue with one of the prosecutors in Ferguson, and she ended up leaving, and they brought somebody else in. But I think a lot of these cases were dropped because of political pressure. That's just my 2 cents on it. Any thoughts on that?
Nope.
No? You don't have any thoughts?
No.
Do you not think that's probably why they didn't prosecute her?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would have made the whole situation worse if they would have prosecuted her. They would have cried racism. The city would have burned even more.
But she assaulted her own mother-in-law, her ex-mother-in-law. Remember when they were selling shirts on the side of the road and she stopped and tried to steal the money the woman was making off the shirts? And, I mean, none of that all just disappeared.
But it's her mother-in-law, so you kind of understand. Oh. No, who likes their in-laws?
Dude.
Do you like your in-laws?
Well, of course.
Okay. Michelle must be listening.
Of course I do. Gosh, Chris Arps trying to get on here and get me in trouble. I don't know what you're talking about there.
I'm sorry, I was daydreaming for about when you asked me that. I was in another world. I'm sorry.
Burn this bitch down!
And shortly after that happened, it burned down.
Mark, I was there that night. I was probably 5 feet from Lesley McSpadden and her
Lewis Head.
And it was so weird. When he started, you could feel just the agitation just in the crowd. And then when he started kind of getting angry and saying that, everybody started kind of like backing away. Like, yeah, something's about to pop off here. We need to get out of here. And probably a minute after he said his last MFs, behind him were like 3 gunshots. And all of us just started running down the street trying to get out of it. It was crazy. But I was there. I was 5 feet from him when he yelled that out.
Wow. Yeah, I'm that whole. We're going to get into more of that coming up here after the top of the hour. I'm going to get Chet Pleban on and ask him a few questions about this. The White House press briefing just started a minute ago. Like Jim Acosta on CNN. lost his mind yesterday because apparently he doesn't like Spicer, and Spicer doesn't answer his questions, and they're so short. They have memory loss over Josh Earnest evading questions constantly, but now they're all over Sean Spicer, and they're mad that this is the first press briefing he's held in a few days. So if anything big comes out of this when they start asking questions, we'll get to it in a minute. Well, I've got Chris in here. I want to talk about the minute I went off the air yesterday. I swear it was 3:01. I walk out of the studio and I get the text alert that the court had enjoined the city from removing this Confederate memorial. And thank goodness. I mean, I don't understand where the bee in the bonnet is there for the city to be so focused, laser focused on getting this done when they've got murders every night and all of these other problems. It's ridiculous to me. But now it's going to go to a courtroom, and sometime in July, they'll make a decision on it.
Democrats, as we know, are all about identity politics. And this Confederate monument is just an identity politics football that the mayor is trying to use to try to curry black votes for 4 years from now. Because, as I said before, Tashara Jones, if all the African-American candidates can coalesce around her, will probably be the next mayor or is going to be Lyda Cruz's next opponent. And Lyda's just trying to get out in front of it, in my opinion.
Apparently, I agree with you on that. The question here is who has ownership of the statue? The city is basically claiming that I guess possession is 9/10 of the law. They've had it there for 104 years, and they've been doing maintenance on it. And by God, they can do whatever the hell they want with it. But you go back and you look at the ordinance, and when it was agreed to, and it pretty much says that the city gave them the green light to erect it, maintain the monument in the largest park.
But do they realize just how foolish we look to the country? You're talking about this statue is dividing people. We need to get rid of it. It's an eyesore, blah, blah, blah. And then
it's beautiful. It's not an eyesore.
It is. And then when somebody wants to take possession of the thing, you want to claim it's yours. We look like, Elliot Davis had a good Facebook post on this. He is saying the city has a lot more things to be spending money on than this with all the, that fund that Tashara set up. He was saying that money should go to pay for funerals for murder victims.
Thank you.
Things like that instead of trying to
people are donating money to remove this. Meanwhile, that's a good point. That money could be much better used.
He's got good posts on Facebook if you're connected to him.
Yeah.
Big long ones.
There are a couple of people, I'm not going to get to their calls right now because I'm going to be up against it here. But a couple of people have called in and said they disagree with me and that Mike Brown, did I say Mike Brown was murdered at some point? Those words came out of my mouth? No, I don't. If they did, that's not what I meant. The point is my point was he was responsible for his death.
Yeah, you didn't say murder.
I don't know. I don't remember saying that he was murdered, but apparently some people thought that I did, or maybe I misspoke, and I apologize for that. When you talk for 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, occasionally something gets misconstrued. But that I do not think Mike Brown was murdered. I think that his family has to bear the responsibility that his actions led to his death that day. That's what I believe. So
I agree 100%, even though people will label me a sellout and Uncle Tom because of that. But, I mean, the facts just show that, he reached for the officer's gun. His DNA was on his gun. After the grand jury said that there were witnesses, African-American witnesses, that backed up Darren Wilson's story. I mean, it's tragic, what happened to him, but you're right. He brought his own death on himself.
Tragic what happened to him. It's tragic on what outside forces have done forever to the city of Ferguson, right? The whole thing. And it's even to add fuel to the fire, it's more tragic that somebody's going to get rich out of all of this.
Well, after lawyer fees and taxes.
That's still nice a whole lot more money than, most of us will ever have.
Exactly.
All right. Got to get to a break here. Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to see you. Great shirt today, by the way. If I can
Mark
just mention
Cox
that.
show.
I know that. That's nice. Maybe we'll have to give one of those away again soon. Some more Mark Cox shirts.
I've got people they're asking me for
lined
me to
up.
Get those. Yeah,
wow,
they want them.
Give me a list of names. I'll take care of you. How about that? 314-969-9797. You can hold the line if you want. Attorney Chet Pleben is going to join us in the next hour to talk more about this settlement issue. We'll be right back.
This hour of the Mark Cox Show brought to you by Naputi Wellness, NaputiWellnessCenter.com.
All right, you need to talk to the folks at Rhino Shield. That's all there is to it. Let Darren come out and give you an estimate on what it would cost. First of all, you've heard the line for years in Darren's spots that it's more affordable than you might think. It is. Add up how much money you would spend painting your house if you had to do it every 2,